I love Hillary Clinton, but it's obvious that the State Department, the intelligence community, and the White House are all trying to deflect blame for Benghazi Gate. So let me ask my guests tonight whether this will impact the elections. Continue with A.B. Stoddard, Mort Zuckerman here in New York, Congressman Jeff Duncan. Congressman, you first. Is this we thought foreign policy would be the president's strong suit. It seems now, if anything, to be a cancer on the presidency.
Absolutely. This is presidential politics, and it's very clear to the American people that have been misled throughout this whole process. Why was the FBI kept out of Libya for a month? We know, looking at the course of events, that it was a terrorist attack. They knew on September the 11th, no later than September 12th, that it was a terrorist attack. So I guess the question is, why were the American people misled? Why was Congress misled? And why did the president continue weeks afterwards to roll out the likes of Susan Rice, the ambassador of the UN, to tell us this was in response to a video? The American people smell a rat here, and I think it's time for the administration to come clean.
A.B., you think there's a rat? Is it that serious? Is there something malevolent going on, something evil and a cover-up?
I think we don't know, but in terms of the political damage to President Obama, Hillary Clinton, and others in the administration, until they come up with a reasonable explanation for why the State Department is telling us there were no protesters, no reaction to a video, nothing that happened spontaneously that would create that kind of violence that led to an assassination, until they come up with an explanation for why they told us that's what it was, and that the Vice President told us that that was the intelligence that they received, when the State Department is now saying that never happened. That disconnect is so big, that gap is so large, it's going to be a huge political problem for the president until there is a reasonable explanation for why this gap exists.
Can you explain it is baffling, isn't it? Why totally they seem to try to say it was blue when it was red, or it was Tuesday when it was Wednesday?
Yes, it's not only the event that, of course, was a tragedy for an outstanding ambassador and 3 other Americans. It is the way they have to describe it. I don't understand what they were about, that they could say, look, it was a terrorist attack. The real problem was they dramatically reduced security that was needed in the face of requests for more security. So it looked as if they'd screwed up in terms of the security, and they got into real difficulty over it. And maybe they were trying to just sort of patch it over. It's so, I have to say, it's so stupid on some level. You don't want to believe that it's happening.
That's why I can't credit it, because it's so stupid to try to, to dissemble in that way. It just seems so unlike someone like Secretary Clinton, who is so, capable in every regard and so highly regarded. And I've never heard her being accused of lying, but that's really what it would be.
Well, it wasn't. I mean, it was Susan Rice, our ambassador to the United States.
She couldn't have been freelancing no more.
I don't know who informed her. That's what there is an investigation. That's why they're having, and we're going to have to find out who told what to whom and when, and what were they really repeating something that would have given them just political cover? Is that what they thought? Or were they just misinformed? And all of it, it's bound to be a loser for them.
Definitely a loser. Congressman Jeff Duncan, you get the last word.
Well, the administration was in contact with the embassy in Tripoli. They knew this was a terrorist attack from day one, and now they seem to be trying to find a scapegoat. Hopefully Hillary Clinton won't be. She's done a good job as Secretary of State. I think the American people want to find out why were they misled, and I think that's the overlying question.
Why they were misled? Do you want to venture a guess, Congressman?
Well, we know it's presidential politics, trying to make the president look better, but you can look at his policies with regard to terrorism. They don't even want to use the word terrorism. They've basically stripped all the words of terrorism and jihad and other things out of the lexicon at both the National Counterterrorism Center, the Pentagon, and so is this a continuing trend with this administration?
So you think it was as simple as that, just base politics?
Look, that's certainly one possible interpretation.
All right, I've got to leave it there. I want to thank Congressman.
It would make it doubly stupid.
Doubly stupid. Congressman Jeff Duncan, thank you. Mort, thank you. A.B., appreciate it.